Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to connect a custom domain to system.io. Now before we jump in, if you want to get access to my free system.io funnel pack that includes done for you funnel templates, email sequences and a full beginner training, you can get access to this for completely free using the link in the description. Now in this lesson we are going to go ahead and connect a custom domain to system.io, and there are two reasons for this. First of all is for professionalism. If you try to use this link right here, like if this is the link that I send my audience to, rileyholden123.system.io, a lot of people are not going to sign up to this. A lot of people are not going to buy from this because it's just not a professional domain. And the second thing is this is actually required by system.io if we want to go ahead and send emails. So in the emails area, if I go ahead to try to create a new email, I'll just call this test. But then we actually go ahead to try and select this, we need to authenticate a domain for this. So this is something we absolutely need to set up before we go any further. The way that we access this area is on your system.io dashboard. Just go to your profile icon. This might be blank for you, but just go to your profile icon right here, and then go to settings. And then from this area, we just want to come down to custom domains. Now to set up a custom domain, there are a bunch of websites that you can go ahead and buy a domain from. You have Hostinger, you have Google domains. The best one that I have found and the one that I use for the cheapest prices and the one that I use for all of my domains is Namecheap. So what we are now going to do is we are going to get our domain from Namecheap, and then we are going to go ahead and connect this to system.io. To access Namecheap, click on the button below this video. Once again, this is an affiliate link, so when you buy your domain I will receive a small kickback at no extra cost to you, and it's going to take you straight over to this screen. So in here you want to choose the name of your brand. So for me this would be Holden Academy. I know this is already taken because I already own the domain for this, but we just type this in, and ideally we want a .com domain. The reason that a .com domain is absolutely essential is because a .com domain is by far the most trustworthy domain. This is why essentially nobody has like .academy or .to, maybe .org if you're an organization, but we're not an organization. So if you do have the .com domain straight available, awesome, you can just go ahead and add this to cart. If not, like in my example, well, all we would do is we would add something onto this. So I could just go for theholdenacademy.com, and this is going to be available just like this. We can see theholdenacademy.com is right here. Or alternatively, we could go for Holden Academy Online is another option. And as we can see, once again, right here, this is available. So just choose one of the domains and make sure you can get a .com domain. I'm going to go for theholdenacademy.com. Find the .com domain and go ahead and add this to the cart. Once this is added, another thing that we need is the business email, and we can get a free trial to this. And this is so that we can get our professional domain, which is once again something that we need for system.io in order to be able to send the emails. So what we want to do is go ahead and grab the business email right here, add the free trial to the cart, and then we can go ahead and check out right here. In the checkout, the things that we need is of course the domain registration right here. Domain privacy is completely free. What this actually is if you don't have this on, like if I just went ahead and turned this off, essentially there will be websites out there where people can search your domain and they can see all of your personal information. So this is what domain privacy is. It's free forever, so we definitely want this turned on. We don't need premium DNS. We don't need web hosting, so we can just go ahead and remove this from the cart. And then we want a free trial to the email. So once your cart looks like this, and we have this right here, we can go ahead and confirm order. We can get both of these for just £9. This is probably like $12. This is why Namecheap is so fantastic. So we can go ahead and confirm the order right here. And then from here, we want to go ahead and create a Namecheap account so that we can go ahead and buy this. Once the account is created, it's then going to ask us to input the payment method that we would like to use. So I've already entered mine in right here. We can click on continue. And from here, we just want to go ahead and pay now. And just like that, we now have our domain, and we also have the ability to access emails and create our professional email. So just like that, it says, thank you for your purchase. We now have access to all of this. So all we now have to do is just click on Namecheap up here to go back to the main dashboard. We can then go over to account right here, and we want to go to the domain list. In the domain list, I have quite a few domains here because, as I say, all of my domains are through Namecheap. But you should be able to see the domain that you just bought. So mine is right here, theholdenacademy.com. we want to go ahead and click on manage, and then we get into the back end of the domain settings. So that is going to look something like this. And then once we are on this screen, we can now go ahead and connect this up to system.io. So we just want to go back to system.io, make sure that we are on the custom domains right here. And then all we need to do is go up to add a domain right here and enter in the domain that we just bought. So mine is www. We need to add this as well. So www.theholdenacademy.com. Enter in the domain that we just bought, and then we can click on save. Once we have entered this, it's going to take us over to this screen right here where we get the domain configurations. So once you have this on your screen, just go back over to Namecheap right here. And inside of the domain settings that we just clicked into, go over to advanced DNS. And then once this loads up, what we want to do is right here where we can see the CNAME record and the URL redirect record, just go ahead and delete both of these. So we want to go delete record right here, delete record right here, and it should say no record found. Then what we want to do is the first thing that we need to add is a CNAME record. So what we want to do is go add new record, and from this drop down menu, select the CNAME record right here. For the host, we just want to go to host and type in www. And then for the value right here, it actually tells us the value in this area. So you just want to copy this right here, copy on your keyboard, go back over to advanced DNS and paste this in. Then for the TTL, we leave this as automatic. Click on the green check mark, and that is the first one added in. Then the second thing that we need to do is the exact same thing with this CNAME right here. So once again, we go to add new record. Once again, we can add in a CNAME record. And then for the host, this is a little bit different rather than just www. In here, we want to copy everything before the .your domain. So the .your domain is right here. We just copy everything before this dot. We can copy this, go back over to advanced DNS and paste this into the host. Then for the value, all we are going to do is copy all of this once again, and then we can go paste this in target and leave this as automatic. Then we can click on save changes right here. Awesome. So we now have that set up and complete. This is everything that we need to do. But to make sure that we have done this correctly and that this is actually set up in the correct way, we want to use a specific website in order to test this. And I will leave that website as a button below this video. So this is the website right here, dnschecker.org. Once again, I'll leave a button to that below this video. On here, all we need to do is go to this drop-down box and just select this to CNAME. Then go to the box right here and type in your domain. So for me, this is www.theholdenacademy.com. And then we click on search, and this should come up with green check marks. Awesome. Now, depending on how long it takes to propagate and what that means is actually connect up, you might see some X's here. All we are looking for is a single check mark. If you do have a single check mark, then that means you did set this up correctly. The others can be all X's. As long as you have one, it just means you have to wait a few minutes for it to fully propagate. But you're all good to go if you just see a single green check mark on here. Once we know that this is working and we have those green check marks, the last thing that we need to do is just go back over to Namecheap, and we need to add a redirect URL. The reason for this is because right here, you can see this is just theholdenacademy.com, but we want to be able to take people to www. Once again, this is pretty easy to do, and I'll show you step by step here. So all we have to do is, once again, in this same area, go to add new record. And in here, we want to scroll all the way down to URL redirect record. In here for the host, we simply enter in this @ symbol right here. And then for the destination URL, we want to type in https://www.yourdomainname.com. So in here, I'll go for holdenacademy.com, just like that. And then for this at the bottom, this drop-down menu, we want to change this to permanent right here. Click on this check mark, and we can save all of those changes. So now we have all of this set up. We have the CNAMEs added. We have the URL redirect added. We know that this is working because we checked in this DNS area. So we can now go back over to system.io right here. We can close this down, and this is still going to say pending validation right here. As we have everything set up correctly, this should work by itself and this should be validated, but I'll give you a little tip that I have found in order to get this validated faster, and that's to contact the system.io support. So to do this, all we are going to do is go go up to help right here, click on the customer support, and then we can go down, and in this area, we just write a message saying, hey, I just set up my domain, but it still says pending. So in here, we want to go to name, and we just type in our name. So I'll go Riley. We want to select the email that is registered with the system.io account. And in here, we can say domain verification. In here, I just said, hey, I just connected my domain www.theholdenacademy.com, but it still says pending. Can you check this for me? And in here, if you have done something wrong, like if there's something wrong with this, they'll actually help you out as well. So this is absolutely awesome. But we've set up everything correctly if you did follow this tutorial. So all this is going to do is speed up the process. So in here, we can go ahead and click on submit. And now that's going to be sent across to system.io, and somebody will get back with you. So once we have that sent, for the custom domain to actually get verified, it's now just a waiting game for either the response or for the status just to verify itself. Now we have this set up correctly, but we don't just have to sit around waiting. We can move on to the next step of the process with getting everything set up with system.io. And the next thing that we want to do from here is connecting up your email sender domain. This is required to send emails on system.io. So absolutely crucial that we get that set up. And I will leave that video on screen as well as down in the description. Also, if you do want to get access to my free funnel pack, which includes the done for you funnel templates, the done for you email sequences, and the video walkthrough series, that is also available for free down in the description. Either way, that is how you can connect a custom domain to system.io. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.